Let's talk about the 3 spiritual paths to awakening, enlightenment. I'm Jason for AwakenedEssence.com. Basically, if you break it down the way I see it, there is 3 paths to the enlightenment, awakening, divine peace, happiness, and all that good stuff. Even while we have a planetary-wide pandemic, it's going to be at least a 2-year process, and then we'll have other stuff happen as a result of that, So the first path, the most potent, the short path, is what this entire website is about. It is about presence, the path of presence, the wisdom path. The Indian word for that is jnana. And that involves literally coming to what you are the direct way. That's pillar 1 in the 9-pillar framework. Correct presence practice. If you check out the orientation video with the roos, where I'm just about crying with bliss because of the kangaroos that I'm near, you know, it's if you start at the destination, i.e. presence, are you here? Have you checked the steps? Do you know what the steps are? Because if you check them, then it's validated, and therefore you will end up with the evidence. This is the whole base of why there's the 9-pillar framework here, for you to identify and make it specific. So this is the quick path, it's the easy path. And if my language is all too confusing here for you, then go to learnwhispering.com and do the Whispering 101 course, where there'll be no spiritual hocus pocus. I will mention the word learning, presence. I will mention the word learning state. So, you know, that is the maximum state for learning, is full brain, full neurology activation. And the whispering state at learnwhispering.com, which is the same thing. I'm in peripheral vision right now, I'm in my body, I'm present, I'm feeling the infinite yummies. And the joy of being in communion with my feathered buddies here. You can't commune with nature and animals properly if you're in your head, So it's the 4 steps to correct presence practice. The first 3 are to do with your volitional conscious attention and how you place that. And then step 4 is just the divine nothing, no to a God thing that just graces you. But if your conscious volitional attention is placed in that place, through your body awareness, through your inner body, through your consciously held presence because of your conscious focus, then it will be a lot more juicy and definitely real, because you've checked the steps. So that's presence practice. The jnana path, the 9-pillar framework, is all to do with that here in this website. The second path is the spiritual path, where you sing and dance and play with crystals and talk about chakras that you can't see and all that sort of stuff. Now, yes, it's part of the process, and it's contained in pillar 2, which includes all of you. It's included in pillar 7, there's always more. But if you're doing spiritual practices that aren't based in where are you are that already, then you're taking a journey out somewhere just to come back to here, which is presence. So spiritual stuff can often be a diversion, and if you look at my initiation and golden ray Reiki pages, you'll see I'm quite big on note the timing. They just knocked my bike over. Grace, I love it. Talking about protection, and my belongings get smashed. Oh, those birds are naughty. So that's Grace's way of saying, are you present right now? Are you aware of your backside? Your tummy breathing? Is presence here that encapsulates through your body and around you. Like for me, it goes through these lovely, very peaceful parrots. And if you have your presence here while you do your spiritual stuff and your bhajans and your and all your other rituals, then that's real. But it can be the slower path. I know that. I wasted 15 years doing that until I put it all on pause and just worked on presence. The third path I like to talk about here is the path of inquiry. Now, inquiry in terms of it involves presence first, which is why correct presence practice is pillar 1 in this 9-pillar framework in this website that you can use to evaluate your awakening, hone your awakening, and for you to have as a framework for you to truly assess where your awakening is at through the day, through the week, through the years, and from moment to moment, because it validates it very specifically for you, so you know. And we all use the same words, doesn't mean we're there, eh? I've had, since I started on the presence path 18 years ago or so, I've had a lot of people tell me that they're this, that and the other when the evidence is clearly not the case. So with the inquiry path, it's kind of, you know, like counselling and standard therapy, standard psychotherapy, standard, you know, whatevers to make you feel good about life aren't part of the inquiry path because they don't involve presence. So, you know, you can go to therapy every week for 50 years and still not be awake. But if you're doing it with presence first, then chances are you'll awaken pretty quickly in a measurable way through using this framework here, the 9-pillar framework. You become a master at having the habit of presence, because that's all awakening enlightenment is the habit, consciously and unconsciously. So that third path, therapy without presence, is a slow path that's not counted in these 3 things. But if you hold presence first whilst you're doing your therapy work, your healing work, your medicine journeys, or whatever you do, crystal meditations, if you're present with it, then yeah, that counts as inquiry because you're undoing your stuff. It's working with pillar 2 in the framework and pillar 5 in the framework, as well as pillar 8. So pillar 2 is it includes all of you, your ego, your crap, your human stuff. It also includes external factors in some respects too, like, you know, how you play with society. Like, we're in category 4 lockdown at the moment, and I'm using my exercise time to talk to you guys while I have exercise with my wild fluffy animals, well, feathered animals. So as I hold my presence, if I was to work with my stuff right now sitting here, that counts as inquiry, because it undoes that, because it includes all of me. I'm bringing my presence to include me, what's happening here now today. Right, get aware of your backside, your calf muscles. Where's your breathing going into your body? What tensions, emotions, feelings, bodily sensations, be they nice ones or yucky ones, what's going on in there? Just be aware of it and hold it in that step 3 presence, the space, the allowance. Yep, it's there, therefore it is A. That's the evidence. All you have to do is just hold the conscious awareness with it and allow it to be there, and don't resist it. And if you're resisting it, be aware of feeling that too. It's all about doing it concurrently. This is the key word, concurrently, with your conscious volitional attention, holding the steps to presence as best as you can. You might just be able to hold awareness of your hand right now if you've just been smacked by a car, but at least you're not going out into freak out mode and going into physical shock and all the rest. Your presence practice can stop this from happening. And there's videos here in this channel about that. If I was to be sneaky, there's also a 4th path, animal whispering. learnwhispering.com, and that's where you'll get the same stuff as the kind of what's here in terms of presence practice and how to use that, but in relation to nature. So you can relate to the grass, the trees, yeah, and these incredible whatever animals you have around you, the wild things. Relating to them, feeling them. It's a good way to develop your presence practice. Without the spiritual mumbo jumbo, eh? So those are the three paths. The direct fast path. As my birdies vanish. The second path, which is spiritual stuff, which you might not be practicing presence at all, in which case its impact will be minimal. Like I said, I mean, I spent 15 or so years very intensely on the spiritual path, doing every sort of workshop under the sun, having all sorts of spiritual esoteric experiences, like a huge range of them, including all the Kundalini stuff and all those things that people like to talk about. But, you know, I had awakenings through all that and lost them all. Because why? Because I wasn't practicing presence. Didn't know what the hell it was. I could have saved myself a decade of really torturous suffering. But that knowledge wasn't out back then. I wish I'd have met this guy back then, back in 1997. Such is the way. So whatever path you're on, if you're in the psychotherapy path, if you bring in the wisdom path, i.e. correct presence practice, what's here in this website, you'll get a lot more value from your sessions with your counsellor, therapist, coach, whoever they are, because you'll be in vertical alignment from your soul all the way down into your DNA and into the earth. So when you move something, it all moves instead of just bits, like belief systems. If you move a belief system without full integration, i.e. so it also integrates the emotions, it'll come back, because the emotions are the glue that'll stick it back. And you may have it locked in your cells, cellular memory in your DNA. If you don't work with that material properly, that too will come back, and you'll just have to face the lesson again. This is a thing, eh? You'll be tested that all of this stuff that holds you back is gone, and passing the test means you hold presence in that situation, and the more functional you are at holding presence in those situations, and that's the dance you'll learn. So whatever approach you're taking on the spiritual path, yeah, we all have our unique stuff, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. It's just where do you use those so you maximize the time you spend in presence. Because in this website, you know, this is all based around the laws of grace, which is 100% mathematical. There is maths, and we do that in the laws of grace. You get your numbers, and if you stick to your numbers, then that's how quickly you can awaken, depending on various other factors. But there is coaching involved with all of those courses, so I can check in and give you some actual external feedback, so that way you know. And that puts you in a place of being at choice and in so-called control of your developmental process, because it can be fast now, because the clarity here will ensure that. And if you don't enter abiding awakening in 5 years, then there's something not working right, and you need personal feedback, and I'll be able to tell you what that is. And usually it's something that's within control of yourself, and levels of baggage that you may have to face. Hello, you're going to come up. If the technical information in this website is sounds good, but you don't quite understand it fully, then check out studentsuccesstutor.com or learnwhispering.com, and it's the same information, because awakening can be so mathematical. Come on, sweetness, come on. He's all by himself. Are you by yourself? We might get company shortly, maybe. It is harder when you're by yourself. That's why there's the Mastery Club and there's the coaching here. It's pillar 6, community and external support. So you got someone who can give you specific feedback, which is very hard to do with properly awakened teachers because you can't get close to them or get personal. Here you can. Because we need results fast to help save this planet and help save these beautiful things. You coming over, honey? Yeah, you knew I was talking about you, didn't you? Come on. It's a big step. You're all by yourself. Show some courage, my friend. And that's part of the process with all this, eh? When you come on the spiritual process, everything and people around you just, you wonder how they fit now. You'll resolve that as you move through the cycles of awakening, and you'll come back to balance. Yeah, it's testing to start with. So notice your backside, feel your inner space, including all the ugly stuff that you'd like to avoid, like your chattering head and what you think your ego is doing wrong. You need your ego. If you want to believe the myth that you have to kill your ego, then it won't serve you. The first stage of awakening, no, you don't. It's all about your ego learning where it sits, and it takes a while to accustomize. But for layers and cycles of awakening after that, you do need your ego, or you'll end up in the loony bin. Because you need to know how to function as an individual while you are actually truly collective with others and other things. Like, well, it's pretty easy to merge with a bird, but merging with humans and other conscious entities does your head in. Where do I start? Where do I finish? Whose thought was that? Whose feeling is that? Some of you that are in relationships that have a deep level of emotional rapport will know that. Am I feeling your crap or is that mine? That's why you need an ego, eh? It's a very fantastically developed tool so you can hold consciousness and be that consciousness while you are also a functional, singular spark of consciousness playing out the game of God. So check your path, evaluate it against the 9-pillar framework in terms of its specificness. Does it give you the tools to enter presence relentlessly, continuously? Does it include all of you? Pillar 2, your ego, and all that stuff about you don't like. And can you back that up with evidence because you know you've checked the steps and the steps to entering presence correctly, so you know you've done it? So that's pillar 3, evidence, which helps you with your law 0, self-honesty, self-responsibility to do it, and then the acuity to validate that it's genuine, that you have entered presence properly, you have entered the God state, the divine, the grace yum-yums properly in a way that's grounded. Come on, sweets. I know Mr. Motorbike's going to annoy you all. All right. And then, of course, when you do this habit enough, it becomes the default habit consciously and unconsciously. That's real abiding awakening, that is, as I define in that video. And so on through the rest of the framework. So if you add the first path, the presence path, into your whatever activities you're doing, it will bring you home. If you don't, you're just doing path 2, the spiritual stuff, because it's nice and you like the clothes and you think you're helping the planet by not eating meat and all that sort of stuff. It's a slow path because awakening is about being conscious. Yeah. Come on, sweet. And then when you add your own inquiry tools, because that's specific to each person, unless you want to learn some of the new tools that I can teach you here on the website to process your stuff. So, you know, you do awaken more, and things that used to hold you back or slow you down don't anymore, because you master them. Conscious mastery, that's what awakening is. So it becomes permanently default. With the short path, that's here in this website, the laws of grace, correct presence practice, 5 years. If you haven't done it in 5 years, boy, you need feedback. Totally mathematically possible, because you just got to retrain your conscious and unconscious mind through you activating the practice enough, eh? It's purely maths. What's a good habit? What's a bad habit? Hey, see? They have a bad habit. They hear a certain bird make a call, they freak out and they fly away. Sometimes, you know, the odd bird stops to check and doesn't fly away, and therefore they get, you know, a nice big feed without competition, because they're choosing to be a bit more conscious than reactionary. What do you do when crap goes down? And every person that has a body on this planet that's over 5 years old can answer this question too. In the last 2 years, what's changed in your life, and how did you handle those changes really well? Because everybody's had massive impacts due to this thing we call a pandemic, regardless of what you think your views on it are. You know, there's been a lot of external influences, a lot of fear, a lot of economic turmoil and movement turmoil in terms of what you can and can't do. Was presence there at the same time? It certainly gave us the time and the space to sit and reflect about what's important, and are we present through this process while all those human emotions go through us? Because it's important to be aware of them. Pillar 2 includes all of you, so there's no internal war. What is presence and allowance and divine grace? It's allowing what is. So there's the 3 paths. The quick path, the laws of grace, correct presence practice. The spiritual path, which may or may not include presence at all, and can have a lot of distractions if you're not already at the place where you are trying to get to, i.e. presence. And the 3rd path, how to process your crap, would be the more colourful way of saying it. Am I present? That's the question, and then you check. That brings you into path 1, the fast path, direct alignment from your soul. Hopefully, if you're doing correct presence practice correctly, it involves this thing here, your fantastic bag of meat and its DNA, and the planet. And that means it's real and substance-based, eh? And evidence-based, because you know what you're feeling. You can feel the drag of your personal crap to drag you away from that. That's how it fits in the framework. So any questions, make contact. The Correct Presence Practice course will teach you what correct presence practice is, and quite a lot of the potholes that seekers fall into, because 99% of seekers don't do presence practice correctly. Or they'll be awake permanently within 5 years if they did it enough to reset your neurology, your mind, your psychology, your unconscious mind. It's just a numbers game. I'll see you in the next video. I'm Jason for AwakenedEssence.com.